Welcome to Dark Horizon Creations. This time we're taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Optimus Prime. Now, if you hadn't already, please follow, like, and subscribe to my social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get a notification of when I post new content. Alright, so tonight we're taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Optimus Prime. This is a review that I have anxiously been waiting to get to for several reasons. I'm a lifelong fan of Transformers. I have been a fan since 1984 when I watched them in my underwear eating cereal every day. Now, my favorite iteration of Transformers is the live-action Bayverse. I really like Knight Optimus Prime. I like the whole Knight mythos that they introduced in Age of Extinction and The Last Knight. So I'm really anxious to get this out of the box and see what it's all about. So taking a look at the packaging, you've got an enclosed window display box. I really like the design of the packaging for this. Transformers banner down at the bottom. You've got some really cool artwork of Optimus in both robot and vehicle mode over on the right. Of course, you can see the action figure inside of the packaging along with the Sword of Judgment. On the back of the packaging, you've got your obligatory product shots of the action figure in both robot and vehicle mode. 44 steps to transform this figure. Up top, you've got an image of Optimus from Age of Extinction. Over on the right, you've got a brief bio. It says Optimus Prime battles lockdown as he is hunted by Cemetery Wind. Alright, so here we have Optimus Prime outside of the packaging. He looks awesome. This is a really well-designed action figure. A lot of attention to detail and thought went into the mold, the sculpting, and I'm certain the transformation just from what I'm looking at. So let's take a look at some of the details on Optimus. All right, so let's begin by talking about the head sculpt. So let's take him, turn him to the side so you can see the details on the side of the head sculpt, as well as the back. Incredible attention to detail. See the red and blue on his chest plates there, the red Autobot symbol, shoulder armor. Just an incredible looking figure. Moving down to his shoulders and arms, you can see they're also done in gunmetal. They used a red and blue on the forearm and gauntlet armor. His fingers open up, they're on a hinge, and his thumb appears to be fixed. But that's okay, that's more articulation than we got in 2017. And you can see this is missing some silver paint apps, but the armor's hinged. The front and both sides, so that's really nice. Just a really nice looking action figure. Dropping down to his thighs and upper legs, you've got blue, you've got some gold trim, silver, you got some red accents on the top of his foot pads, and then the exhaust pipes for the truck and truck mode, those are done in silver. This is a really nice looking figure. Well worth the cost. Let's talk about articulation. Make him that closer so you guys can see. Head is on a ball joint. Limited range of motion due to the design. But look at all the intricate detail underneath the head sculpt. Forward and lateral movement at the shoulder. Bicep rotation. You got upper arm rotation. Double jointed elbow, and then you've got wrist rotation before he's seen that his fingers open up. Waist swivel, forward and lateral movement to thigh, thigh rotation, double jointed knee. So you can put this figure in some really lifelike poses. And his feet, the toe pad is hinged. You guys can see that. I'll turn around the side so you can see it. As well as this aft part. Help offset the weight of the sword and shield on his backpack. And I'll remove those temporarily. If you guys don't know, you can fold the backpack up and it will come off of that mushroom peg like that. You can fold that down, kind of clean up his look if you choose to do so. Still a nice looking figure with or without it on. Alright, let's talk about accessories. First and foremost, he does include a really short blade. There's only one of these. You can either hold it in his hand or it's got these ports for it to plug into his arm. Also included is his shield. A lot of nice molded detail, and the way this works is each section can pull up. You can see it's got pegs on it where you can split it open like so to reveal the triple barrel cannon. And he can either have that plugged into that port on his gauntlet armor or hold that in his hand. If you just want to use it as the shield, you can put those two sections close together, have that on his forearm like that. It also includes Sword of Judgment. I have to say, as a critic of Hasbro, they did a really nice job of getting this blade almost perfectly straight. Very minimum warping there. And you guys can see that. A lot of nice molded detail. Much nicer sword, more detailed, much longer sword than included with the 2017 Voyager class. And let's see if we can put up his hand. Yep, get him to grip his sword. You can get him into really awesome action pose. Alright, so here we have Optimus Prime transformed into his vehicle mode, which is a heavily modified Western Star 5700. Some of you may be asking why I did not show the transformation process, and the simple answer is it always takes me so long to do that. This particular action figure has over 40 steps to transformation, and I want to talk about some of the issues I encountered while doing so. So to begin, I'll tell you guys that I found the transformation process to actually be a lot simpler than I thought. But one of the issues that I ran into are some of the tabs, particularly on this scene right here with this panel. And this is part of the leg panel when you transform him into robot mode. So a lot of tab slot connections, including these two here. Same on this side, and you can see there's some separation here. These don't want to stay in place. And there's tab slot connections right underneath here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Right there, his thighs. And that puts pressure on this, and it'll eventually pop the top of the sleeper cab out, and there you go. It pops out just like that. And I've seen some other guys talk about issues they've had with this. And for whatever reason, it's just one of those sections that is very problematic. And what I did was I used a precision flat hand screwdriver, and I pushed the head in right down in here to put a little bit of pressure on this panel to push it out so that I could get it to transform. But overall, it's a really nice truck. There's a lot of attention to detail on this vehicle. If you look at the front, they got the blue stripe on the grille. which you didn't see on the 2017 iteration. They've got the steps molded in correctly here. You can see it's popped loose again. You've got dual exhaust molded in here. You've got the Western Star name embroidered here, Western Star logo back here between the rear axles. Really clean, you know, lacking in paint details in certain areas like the back by the tail lights and stuff, but overall I'm really impressed. This is a really nice looking truck. The one thing that I don't like is that screw hole, and I'm hoping to find somebody that is going to 3D print a cover or plug to go in there to replace that. These sections right here on top of the hood should be chrome. That should be chrome. Door handle should be chrome. The handle should be chrome. All of this should be chrome. Western Star logo should be chrome. And of course, exhaust stack should be chrome. Chrome on the trailer hitch and back here. But it still looks nice. You know, I have no intention or plan to repaint this one. I'm going to leave this one as it is. Overall, this is a really awesome collectible and toy. If you are a fan of Transformers, you definitely want to pick up this iteration of Optimus and add it to your collection. So there you have the Transformers Studio Series Age of Extinction Optimus Prime by Hasbro.